Welcome children, good afternoon. Today we are going to do English grammar, neither prose nor poetry. When you open your textbook, English grammar textbook, any textbook, okay, first thing when you open the first page, you will come across parts of speech. That's the foundation stone of English grammar. Now, parts of speech. Parts, divisions. And speech, the way we want to express ourselves, that is speech, or the way we conversation, that is speech. Now, to make your speech or make our speech effective, okay, we need the help of these parts. And then only does the speech become meaningless. Meaningful, sorry, not meaningless. Okay, so how many parts of speech are there? Okay, I'll tell you now. There are 8 parts of speech. And I have arranged them in a sequential manner so that it becomes easy for you to remember. At the same time, when I explain them, they are interconnected with each other. So that way also it would be helpful to you. So now let's begin. First part of speech, that's noun. Okay. Now what's noun? Noun, the word n, the word noun begins with the word n. Okay. So n. No. Noun means name. Now, name of what? Anything to identify. We need a name. Or I would say, in other words, the way the thing is called. Okay? Names, when we say, then our thought is diverted toward names of the person only. No. By anything in this universe is called by a name, and that's what is a noun. Tree is a noun, water is noun, we human beings, any name we are called by is a noun. Okay, so that is noun is name. Name of anything, it could be living, non-living, person, animals, trees, food, anything. So that's noun. I hope it's clear to you. Now, the same thing, you see the second word is pronoun. So, noun, you know what it is. Maybe with the word pro, you would have a bit hesitation. Okay, so pro is, it's not the literal meaning you would find it in any textbooks, but pro, I would, for easy understanding, I use the word instead of. Instead of, or in place of. Instead of what? Instead of noun. So, a pronoun is words used instead of nouns are pronoun. So, you would question why instead of, why the pronoun is not used as in the way, why the noun is not used, and instead of nouns we use certain words to escape from the monotonous use of the same words. We use or we make use of pronouns. To avoid repetition, we use pronoun. For example, noun could be the name, as I told you. Ram is a noun. Okay? Sita, a name of a girl, is a noun. Carrot is a noun. Okay? But when we are talking about these things repeatedly, instead of saying the names repeatedly, we use the words instead of these names, and that is a pronoun. For example, for Ram, we would use he. For Sita, we would use she. And for carrot, we would use it. So, he, she, it are used instead of this words, that is the noun. So, that's a pronoun. Or when it's me and my friends. So what pronoun do I use? Every time I would not say Asha and her friends, Asha, Nisha, Manisha went to school. Asha, Nisha, Manisha had food. Asha, Nisha, Manisha went for picnic. We would not use the words repeatedly. Instead of that, what would you use? We would use we if I am saying that me and my friends. Or if someone else is saying, then, or I am talking for someone else, we would use the word they also. So we as well as they. Okay, so these are the words used instead of the noun. That's why it's a pronoun. Now noun and pronoun, these you are well aware of. They are names or certain words which are used instead of names in the pronoun. Is it clear, all of you? Okay. Now I move to the third word, that is verb. Okay. So what is verb? You know, to do something. To do. Do what? Verb is another word, we can call it verb. To do something or to do some work, that is verb. Action. Not action movies and all that action. Okay, that's a verb. But here I am talking about verb to do some task. Some work, that is verb. Now, noun and pronoun could be living and they do not sit idle. They do some work. Or in other words, you as students, myself, how long would I keep standing here and you stare at me without I uttering any word, without you reacting? Okay, so the action what is done by the noun or pronoun, that is verb. We got to do something. If I am not speaking, you would scratch your head, you would whisper somewhere, you would write or make sketches in your notebook or textbook. So this one or the other action done by either the noun or a pronoun, that's verb. Clear? Next, verb is told to you, as I told, noun, pronoun. So noun, you know what it is. I had explained about the pronoun. Similarly, verb I have told you. Now it's adverb. Okay? Add means plus. You know, science students, addition, math students. Okay? So add. Add to what? Something that is added to a verb. That is adverb. Why is it added? To highlight the action. To make the action more expressive. Okay? So we make use of adverb. Or in other words, when you ask a question to a verb, how is the action done? And when you get the answer, that is adverb. For example, I tell you that he worked very hard. Okay? He is, when it is with action is done with the person itself. So here we can say he is a noun. What is he doing? He is working. So that's the verb. And when you ask a question to the verb, how did he work? The answer what you get is very hard. So this very hard is the adverb. Clear? So how is the action done? That is the adverb. We make in mostly ly is used. Very. Then ly is added to a word and then it is identified as adverb. Soft, softly. Okay? Sweet, sweetly. Cool, coolly. So these are ly added to a verb that can also be identified as adverb. Now again the word for your easy for you to remember it easily, I had used that word adjective. Now noun, pronoun, noun and pronoun doesn't sit idle, so they do some work, that is verb. How the verb is done, that is adverb. Now it comes to adjective. Adjective, what's adjective? As verb is connected with the adverb, or adverb is connected with the verb. Similarly, adjective is connected with a noun or a pronoun. Okay, as how is the work done, or how is the verb, that is adverb. Similarly, how is the noun or pronoun, that is adjective. In other words, I would say adjectives are qualifying words. Okay, qualifies whom, or I would simplify, that is qualifies or talks about, tells us something about whom, that is the noun or pronoun. For example, I say Ram is an handsome guy. Ram is an handsome guy. Okay, so Ram, you know, it's a noun, and how is Ram? Ram is handsome. So the word handsome qualifies Ram or tells us something about Ram, and that's why handsome is an adjective. I would say rose is a beautiful flower. Rose is noun, okay, and how is the rose? Beautiful. So rose is a beautiful flower. Or I would say, what kind of flower is rose? Rose is a beautiful flower. So the word beautiful qualifies or tells us something about the noun rose, and so that's an adjective. Or qualifying words are known as adjective. Clear? So, or you can remember that noun instead of noun, pronoun, noun and pronoun, then verb, verb ke baad adverb, and again the next fifth word is starting with a, and that's an adjective. So these 5, noun, pronoun, verb, adverb and adjective, they are interconnected. The other 3 are ending with the shuns, T-I-O-N, okay, and they are interrelated. Preposition. Pre, I would for time being forget this word pre. Position, you know. What's position? Placement. Or simple, I would say place. Place of whom? Okay. Place could be of noun or a pronoun, and that is known as preposition. Preposition, position of a noun or a pronoun. And most of the cases we see preposition will always, most of the cases, in between 2 nouns. Example I would give you. The rat is in the trap. The rat is in the trap. So, here the rat is what? Noun. The trap also is a noun. This is living, this is non-living. Okay? Is, I'll explain you later on, it's a helping verb, to be forms. And in is the preposition. How would we find the preposition? This is, for example, the first noun, and this is the second noun. When you ask question to the first noun, where is the rat? Because this shows the place. So any place we use the word where. So where is the rat? What answer do we get? In the trap. So in is the preposition. The flower is in the vase. Where is the flower? In the vase. So that's a preposition. Okay. The book is on the table. First noun, book, and second noun, table. Where is the book? First noun, we are asking the question. And what answer do we get? On the table. So that's the preposition. So in, on, under, over. In, on, under, over, behind, at the back, in front of, In short, the place of any noun in a sentence, that is first noun, where it is, answer gives the second noun, as I showed you with the example, that's the preposition. Pre is just added to preposition, position of the noun, that is preposition. Then comes conjunction and the conjunction. What is conjunction? I would divide this word into two. Conjunction is connection. One, the word that connects whom? Connects two nouns, connects pronoun, connects verb, connects adverb, connects adjective, connects preposition. So that is connection and that is conjunction. Now, I would use the word which would make you to remember or understand it easily. That is, you must have heard the word junction. What is junction? One that connects. And what is this word junction connected to? Word junction is related to a railway station, to a road also. Okay? Junction, you said, Ahmedabad is a junction. Calcutta is a junction. Okay? The junction, the main railway station through which trains from different places do come and go to different places. They do cross, they have to cross that place. So that is a junction. Okay? A crossroad. Roads from here, from all ends would come and meet at this point. So this is the junction. This point connects all the other roads or connects all the other railway stations. That is known as a junction. So that is conjunction. Clear? Conjunctions, examples I'll give you. And is the commonly used connector. But then to avoid the monotonous ways, at times we can use or also. Else. Sometimes the comma is also used as a connector. Okay? The last one, the last part of speech, interjection. Now, you would have a bit fun before I explain this. All of you have heard, now you're all grown up in 16, 17, few would be in 18 also. Okay? Interjection. Before that, that is what I was talking about. Third word, let us forget for a while. What does it now remains? Injection. Injection. As soon as you now might be you're grown up, you are bold, you have become strong. Okay, so it would sound bit vague or odd to you. But as a child, when you were told about injection, then certain sort of fear would develop or arise in our mind. Okay, injection. When you take the injection, or before the feeling to take the injection comes, or when the doctor proceeds before you with the syringe, okay? Certain, we express ourselves with the help of different sounds. That is, oh, ah, ouch. These are what? These are expressions we make use of, or these are words we make use of to express our inner feelings. Could be of fear, that is because I am talking about injection. Could be of happiness, if you have come across or you are recollecting certain good memories, you have come across certain good incidents, you are in a situation where you are celebrating some good moments. Okay, so you express yourself in the way, good or bad message or good or bad way, or what the way you express yourself, a happy feeling or a sad feeling, as the situation is, that is known as interjection. So after I keep the word aside, injection. So the feeling what we have when the thought comes in us to take an injection, that is interjection. That was all out of the way discussion, but interjection, in other words, I would say, if we are related or we move to the English grammar or with the parts of speech, an interjection are words which express our inner feelings, and that is interjection. Oh, ouch, ah, array. So this is interjection. So I hope you are clear with all the 8 parts of speech. You in your 5th or 6th standard, you have already studied about these 8 parts of speech. But at this 11th standard, to start with the next topics, I would like to introduce with all this 8 parts of speech. You know everything children, but I have just brushed up because long since 6th standard or 5th standard, now you are 11th standard, and might be you have forgotten certain things. So I had just given a brief description about the foundation of English grammar. Now, try to remember the words. When I would have asked you 8 parts of speech, you would have said noun, verb, interjection, conjunction, and then somewhere might be you must have stuck up. But if you follow this sequence, it would be very easy for you to remember. So before I conclude, I would just give you a revision. So noun is name, could be of a person, place, thing, living or non-living. Words used instead of noun, that is pronoun. Noun and pronoun do not sit idle. They do one or the other type of task or work, and that is verb. How the verb is done or how the work is done, that is adverb. And then comes the 5th one, that is adjective. Okay, adjective defines the noun or a pronoun, or they are qualifying words which tells us something either about a noun or a pronoun. Then the 3 shuns, that is preposition, I told you, shows the position or place of a noun or a pronoun. And then comes conjunctions, they are connecting words. I gave it the example and, or, but. They are all connectors or conjunction. I have given you the example of the railway station or the junction. And the last one, that is interjection. They are the expressive words which express our inner feelings. So here I complete the 8 parts of speech, and any doubts or things, you are most welcome to ask your doubts. Thank you. Have a nice day.